Fine. So this is your platform of Azure. So before to that, quickly, I'll try to share some information. What is the main purpose of going into ADF or like in Azure Data Engineer or else? Okay. So coming to this, as I said, we have an image which will help you to understand the in and out. So see, today as a demonstration, I'm trying to show you this image, but don't take it as take it as a demo means it's like some basic knowledge. No, it is definitely. I can guarantee you that in some cases, if you put some more experience, like 6 years, 7 years, generally, sometimes interviewer, the other side, might have some less experience than you. Definitely, at high level, they'll ask you what exactly the ADF, where do you get the data from, where do you load it, what are the standards you are following. So in that case, at high level, if you know these whole concepts, definitely you can clear such interviews. I can guarantee you that. Recently, we have faced one interview from Infosys. The same thing. They just asked the person at a high level, just okay, what all the experience you have? So what is BI? How does BI standards you follow? So something like we need to talk about this OLTP system in the ETL process and how the data will be loaded into warehouse in the Snowflake. Of course, in our topic we are talking. So these are all like related to Power BI, whereas Power BI and Azure Data Factory both are belongs to Microsoft. They are Microsoft services providers. So that is the reason we do combination courses generally. Okay. Quickly to understand, we discussed about Amazon business and the whole OLTP is running the business of Amazon in the online. That's why we say the server as what? OLTP, online transaction processing. The whole day-to-day business data, whatever the transactions might take place from the customer side, from the manufacturer side, from the dealer side, from vendor side, anything, any kind of request will be accepted through these OLTP systems only. And the system itself, the system is designed in the such way that to resolve the issue in online itself. Nowadays, we have AI in the market as well. So no of manpower. Even if you go in some websites, if you just see, if you enter into that website, someone will ping you. How can I help you? That is not a person. That is going to be an AI. Up to some certain of answers directly you can get from AI. So even Amazon also is integrated with that such cases. So if you see some general request, maybe from exchange side, maybe from return side, maybe the product is not having quality. These are all things that AI system can accept and give the reply for that customer to not to get disappointed. Definitely such solutions we have from software side. So that is the reason we see manpower very less. Okay, but still in some cases, yes, we should have manpower. For now, Amazon is a business which is running and which is an interpreter from the customer side and the manufacturer side. So OLTP server is the one which we need to be set up to make the business run and store the data which are active. So once the activeness means the products which are the orders which are overcome with this exchange policy or return policy, those already are expired records or inactive records. That is one of the use cases. Maybe there can be multiple use cases to make it active and inactive, but one of the inactive situation I'm telling. That too, it is related to Amazon only. Maybe in the other business, some other cases will be there, the inactive means. So the OLTP business data will be showing you the some already which are inactive. Those we have to extract because those I cannot put in OLTP and make my database full and occupy most of the server side. So the server should be 80% placed with free space because the whole business transactions are happening from different servers like from US, from India, from Europe, and from different equipments we are getting the request. These all should be handled by this OLTP server. On top of it, if you are storing the data again, definitely it is a difficult thing. Even for a manual person also it is difficult thing. Even systems also the same. If I want to make the different means I don't want to make any other server. I want to make this server only and I want to make it store the data here as well. Yes, you can do, but you should get expensed a lot. You should expense more and more regularly on the OLTP server. Expensing every time is not really a workable thing. Correct or not? So that is the reason we put some server, some separate server, and we try to extract the data which is not required into the OLTP server. So how should I know that? Means, as I said, exchange or return policy dates are completed means those records, those already are not really active. Those records we have to extract and we have to transform. Why we have to transform? The order ID's cost will be converted from US to India, US and dollars, India dollars we have to convert, and we have to transform that into dimensions and facts. And to do that, we have to use transformations. I'll show you very quickly today some basic transformations, how to implement in area. Okay. Those transformations, once you are done, then you are trying to load the data into the warehouse. When you load it into the warehouse, the data will be segregated in the form of dimensions and facts. As the data in OLTP server will be storing in the form of master and transaction. The OLTP system will be storing in ER modeling. These all things what I am talking generally or generic, whatever I am doing, these all practical I'll show you in the coming sessions. No need to worry. Okay. And we have the conversion that is called transformation. And once it is done, we are going to load that into the warehouse. So once the data is dumped into the warehouse completely, then we are going to extract to the reports. So first of all, my session starts in area with data warehousing concepts. We need to know how to construct this data warehouse database. This is very, very most important concept. If you know how do we construct this data warehouse database, then we can perform loading from extracting this OLTP server. Okay, so today this is what my roles and responsibilities mainly as an ETL developer. So up to 2015 we don't have on cloud services much active. So up to here we should have on premises only. So to perform on premises activities, we have tools like DataStage, Informatica, Ebnitio, ODI from different organizations. These all are tools which are familiar with on premises. So once we are done with this, these all are called as ETL developers or data science developer, Informatica developer, we say. But now, when after 2015, the people are starting using cloud services, now the data is migrated and the servers are migrated from on-premises to cloud services. We are also migrating our ETL developer to data engineer. We are also migrating into data engineers. So if I say servers, we will have Unix servers, we will have Windows servers, we will have some IBM servers, HP servers, different servers in the on-premises. The same way in the cloud also, we have service providers like Amazon, AWS, from Microsoft, Cloud, Azure. So if you are being a data engineer in Azure environment, you are an Azure data engineer. You are working as a Azure data engineer. But within Azure data engineer, if you want to work, definitely we should have segregate with Azure ADF, Azure Data Factory, and the Databricks as well, and the Synapse Analytics. So these are the Azure platforms which we can work with as a data engineer. So Databricks is going to be handled with a huge volume of data with unstructured, structured within writing in a scripts and programming like PySpark, Python. So we just require them. ADF doesn't require those all. ADF can work with GUI. So you can make simpler with ADF of sample data or some common data what you have, but which are having challenges in the data structure, storing data structures. We can use handling Python, like Databricks, this one. So you can integrate Databricks with, Databricks with Data Factory. You just see here, I'm just configuring the Data Factory. Okay, I'll just complete this part and I'll come back. So extraction, transformation, and load. What purpose we are doing? In generally, to pull the data from OLTP server and load it into the warehouse, we use ETL. Once the data is segregated into dimension and fact, then we are going to convert them into the visualization and that we are doing in the cloud service now. To do this all at one place, we have Azure Synapse Analytics. Azure Databricks also we can do, but it is again challenging. But Azure Synapse Analytics, where you have ADF combination with what all we are doing in ADF, 90% similar with Azure Synapse Analytics. But all these three we have demand in the market, but we don't talk. In generally, here few people we will talk with Power BI, so ADF is fine. ADF is enough. But if you feel you want good package wise, you have a lot of constraint. You're looking for high packages with less experience. I'll challenge you that if you go to Databricks, you can definitely get that desired salary. Definitely, no doubt. But of course, in the work environment, you will have challenges. What a regular person like ADF person is having, definitely Databricks will be very, very big challenge because there will be less resources. But of course, if you are learning everything perfectly, definitely you can work without any issues in the work environment as well. Okay, so if you are ready for that challenges, you can estimate the result packages also, no worries. But in generally, this session we will start initially with ADF, and later on, based on the required people and based on the requirements, we will go with the Azure Data Engineer. Okay, so for now, Power BI with ADF we are going to cover. So within that, we are going to see now practically. So up to ETL resource, up to ETL activities, we should be very familiar, first of all. So within that, what is that? How do we construct data warehouse? We should know. And within that construction only, we'll come to know what is dimension and what is a fact. Your challenges as an ETL developer, pulling the data and placing into this data warehouse is up to ETL resources, challenges or the responsibilities. So I strongly recommend you people should be more aware with the data warehousing concepts when we start. Maybe my first session, I'll start with data warehousing concepts. And next we have the OLTP. How do we extract the data in SQL? You need to know SQL. So that is the reason any ETL, either ETL developer or Azure data engineers, they'll have commonly the basic SQL knowledge is required. But basic we will say, but in the work environment, definitely you might face some challenges. So that is the reason we will talk SQL also somewhat better knowledge will be. Okay. So this is for now to start up with ADF. So just going to this and I'll try to show you. This is your cloud environment. Which cloud? Azure cloud. So how can I say this? This is the Microsoft Azure. By having this environment, the cloud environment, what I'm having in general, whoever very new to the cloud services, it will help to them. I'm saying that I have purchased a laptop. If I'm having account in Azure platform, I purchased a laptop in similar. Getting or not? But if I purchase a laptop, is that fine that I can use that laptop, or should I have done some installations? Installations I have to do. So having Azure account is not only the case, you have to create the resources. So when you go to the creation of the resources, see here, you will get all the categories of different softwares into multiple resources you will have. Under AI machine learning, we will have multiple. Azure Synapse Analytics is also coming under AI. Do you see Databricks here in the AI? No. But why I am talking about Azure Synapse Analytics? In Databricks, the reporting is not really comfortable, but ETL is comfortable in Databricks. If you observe, see Azure Synapse, ETL, reporting, everything will be there. So that's why data engineer within that part, one part is Azure Synapse Analytics is the common thing. Okay. So next, if you come down to analytics, Databricks, Data Factory, both you see here. So if you want to configure, you have to create. But for now, I don't want to create for now. What I'll do, I'll just use already created resource. I'll show you how to configure in the work, in the learning environment. While we'll go into the ADF, I'll show you. So if you just click on this ADF, see now. When we are launching the studio, it will launch the studio. And today, I just want to show you. This is your storage account. How do you store your data in your local systems in the folders? In the hard disk, you'll have different folders or not. So storage account is the one of the cloud resource that you need to place. You can see that you can save the data in different format like files, queues, tables we can use. And you have like different storages. We'll talk about them in coming sessions. And on the storage account, I created container to segregate which is input, which is output. These are containers. From basic level, I'll show you in the coming regular sessions. But for now, I'm just using which are already set up. Okay. So it should make sense. Means you should know what I'm doing. See now, employees.txt, which is my source file, which I am having employee ID as the column name, first name as a column name, last name as a column name, email, phone number, height date, job ID, salary, and all these things. What I want to do, so how should we segregate? How should we perform ETL roles? I'll tell you. I have a storage account which is containing input container. Within that I have employees.txt. Within that I'm having few columns, and the two columns are like first name and last name I'm seeing. So in my output container, what I want to do, in output container, I want to create a file with the name called employees.txt, and I want to make one difference, one transformation I want to implement. What is that? I'm having the first name and last name. I don't want first name, last name separately. I just want to concatenate these two columns, and I want to make it as a single column in the output. So in the output container, by default, I don't have any files. This is your output container, you need to observe. And this is your input container. So from input container, you need to extract this employees.txt. And what is the transformation? Concatenating the two columns like first name and last name and making into a single column and loading into the target is your loading that into a. This is what ETL role. So my data is in cloud, my ADF is in cloud, and my output container also is going to be in cloud. Understood, right? So now I want to show you how much simple and how much easy the ADF is. Today, my motto is to make you to understand how much easily you can work with ADF. So I have here other tab. I'll give you one simple, make you to understand about ADF. I'll give you very simple to understand the terminology, because what I'm talking, if you can understand, it will be more better. It will be more effective, right? See, for example, when I'm saying my source is what for ETL, the people have to talk. My source for ETL is what? Source. OLTP. My target is what? OLAP. So ETL I'm doing, and I'm extracting the data from OLTP and load it into warehouse. Simple example, I'm showing you what? Input container, output container. Input container, treat it as a OLTP system. Output container, treat it as a OLAP. I'll just explain the same thing within simple example. In generally, I want to move from Hyderabad to Bangalore. What is your source? What is your target? So which way you use? What are the ways to move from Hyderabad to Bangalore? You have railways, airways, multiple ways, roadways. Within the roadways, you will have your own car, bus, airport, transport, travels, anything. Right? So you are choosing one thing particularly, like maybe your bus, government bus. When you go for government bus, you will have service number. You need to know your service number means what should you have? What should you carry? You should carry. There is a government bus which is going to be in MGBS. You need to catch that service number. You should know that service number bus is yours. That is what you are going to do. So what if you do, you will get that service number information.
If we book the
Bus ticket. If you purchase the bus ticket, in the bus ticket, you will see the source Hyderabad, destination is Bangalore, service number is so and so. That is what, right? Here also, if I want to know the extraction from where I have to do, I should go and create a linked service. Linked service will tell you this is one of the building block. Linked service will tell you, will map you, this is your source, input container is your source, target is your output container. But these two containers are storing in the same storage account or not? For one storage account, you should have one linked service is enough. If you have your source in different storage account, the target in different source container, then we have to get two linked services. But generally, when you have one storage account, two containers within the same storage account, one linked service is enough. So to build ADF, one of the building block is linked service. Now you got your service bus. You found your service bus number. Now, after entering into the bus, what should you have? What is should be allocated to you? Seat. Seat. That seat should be like your structure. You have to sit and sleep. Semi-sleeper buses, how it will be? It will be semi-sleeper, like it will be in structure, your structure. So here also, well, once we have the linked service, we have to connect to the data sets. Data set means what? Only the structure of the file. Only structure of the file. So using that structure of the file, what should I do? I have to sit now. Now, when you have service number, the bus and seat is enough. Who has to come to move that bus? Driver. Driver also is in the place. So in the same place, what is the concept here? In the driver place, assume the pipeline. Pipelines will drive the data flows. Okay. Before to that data set cell take. What you are doing in the meantime, you are carrying one bag. Within that bag, whenever you get, for example, from Hyderabad to Bangalore, in between what happens? You have different cities. 4 cities you got mainly. In the 4 cities, you have to hand over some pack from one pack. From in Kurnool, one pack. In Mahbubnagar, one pack. Something. So you need to, on the pack, it will be written. This is Mahbubnagar pack. This is something like that is your transformation. You have to do that means we have to create a data flow. Creating data set, you have the seat, you are sitting. And data flows helps to filter the data. It will work on the data. Okay, you have to have some activity means you have to perform that activity means within this data flows are important. So it is going throughout what? Your driver. If your driver is not moving from Hyderabad itself, you can submit your pack in Mahbubnagar, in Kurnool, no. So those things, driver means like pipeline. So if driver also is coming and sitting, the bus will go. The bus should be contained with what? Engine. The bus without the bus engine can we move even though driver is there? No. So this pipeline, these all should get activated or like should execute means IR, the integration runtime. See, when I'm giving you the requirement, I'm talking from source and a destination, data set, connection, ticket, bus ticket, seat number, these all. Tell me now my journey started. To start your journey, what is the first main important thing? Bus engine. Without bus engine, you cannot do anything. Next, driver. Your vice versa, you are coming, right? So here also the same thing. What is the execution flow of ADF means integration time, runtime. Will take that information which is present in the linked service. It will go to that linked service source which is configured as an input container and bring the structure data sets and integrate the data sets in the data flows and perform the data activity through the pipeline. So these are the 5 building blocks. If you know these 5 things, ADF is in your hand. What is the first thing? To develop. While developing, linked service is the first thing. Next, data sets. Next, data flows. Next, pipelines. Finally, integration. IR. This is in which way? Development wise. Execution wise, quite opposite. IR is most important execution wise. Correct or not? So these are the building blocks. These 5 building blocks, if you know what is the purpose exactly and what you how to handle it, definitely ADF is in your hand. Right? So these are very important. People will ask you, what are the building blocks of ADF? Very most important introduction. Now these all things I'll try to implement and show you. extracting the data which is in your in your input container and loading into the output container with what? With the concatenating the first name and the last name. Any questions on top of it? It is fine, right? Now, so I can create a linked service from here, but I have already a linked service. I'll just show you. It is going to be having the subscription name, integration runtime, first of all, integration runtime, and the subscription name, the storage account, the authentication key, storage account, the account key. So these all like I'll take Azure subscription from here. I'll take. What is the storage account name? See, tester SCA for somewhere I given the name, why I don't know, but okay. This is the one. Okay, manually I'll not take. I'll take automatic way. So see here, Azure subscription. Test the connection. Connection successful. Just click on apply. So my linked service is created with the name of LS. LS means linked service. Azure Blob Storage, which is the name I given. Okay, I'm just going to other tab now. To create linked service, we are coming into Manage tab. Once you create that, to utilize it, we are going to other tab. Now the data set also I want to create. Create a new data set. What is my stores? I said ETL benefit is what? It can extract from any cloud service. It can extract any kind of data. See here. Amazon Red RDS, which is Amazon Cloud Platform. Amazon Redshift, which is the database from Amazon side. So for us now, Azure Blob Storage is required. Just click on continue. My file is a delimited file. I'll just name it as dataset. Every time name it as DS. Employee file I want to do employee I'll give, and which is from storage account. I'm just doing load. So the linked service which I created will be shown here, or else from here also you can create. And the linked service is configured to which container. You can just use this to input container. Just employees.txt is my file name. Just click on OK. Now employees.txt and first row is address or not? Yes. Just click on OK. You need to know one thing here. When you are working with file, you should be careful with the column delimiter. I'll talk this very in detail when we come into ADF, but for now, I'll just show you high level column delimiter. It's very most important. What is my column delimiter here? Pi. Column delimiter means what? From one column to another column, how you are separating. The separator is called as column delimiter. So here it is pipe, but what is mentioned here? Comma by default. So just go into pipe, or else you'll get some challenges. If you don't do these changes, you'll get some challenges. Preview the data. See now, my data is perfect or not? I got first name, last name. For example, if you see in comma, if you forget to do this, and if you go into comma and preview the data, observe the data, it's not segregated with the column names properly. So these are the challenges that you have to face. So first of all, you should see whether my extraction is done properly or not. Just preview, use the preview the data. Now it is segregated properly, correct? Just publish this to save this data set. You have to do publish to save. So data set is published. Which one I given the name as this one, right? Today I created. Now using this data set, I just want to start data flow creation. See, to work with data flows, we need a server. The server means like Apache Spark cluster, because data flow is a data factory. Data factory is configured on Apache Spark cluster. Even Databricks also Apache Spark. It is a cluster which will execute the parallel mode. And so morning we had an issue with the data flow debug. I don't think it will resolve now. It will resolve now. I don't think it should have an issue. Or else I'll show you the skeleton structure. It will not take this much time. It is getting on. Okay, fine. So, no, another record, please use the notification details. Actually, the morning, I think morning also we have an issue. It will see. Sometimes a second time it will execute. Okay, I'll just try to create a skeleton in between. So data flows names every time as you should give df. The shortcut data flow, which will be loading with employee file and making a concat of first name and the last name. So this is what employees.txt employee file. Okay, so I don't have my data flow debug is not working properly. Okay, so but simply what I'll do without doing, see, I want to concatenate first name, last name. That is an activity. That is a transformation. If I want to do that, definitely I have to create a data flow because it is going to work on the records, on the transformation. See, for that, what I will do, I'll use a derived column. In the derived column, I'm deriving a new column. The first name, last name, new column I have to derive, and I have to say employee full name. And what I have to do, the expression I have to give as what? First name, the input schema. Just a minute. I did not call the data set. I'm sorry. I did not call the data set here. That is the reason we are not able to see these columns. Now you will see the columns. Within the data set I have done. Is my pipe did not save or not? So here also, okay. The very first time I just given comma at one place, so that is the reason it is throwing error. Just a minute. I'm just opening the data set. See the schema, it is not showing properly. I'll just clear it. I'll import the schema once again. Now it is perfect. Go to the connection. Now just see the inspect. Now you'll get all the list of the columns. Now we got all the problems. Now we can create an expression. I'll not execute because I have data flow debug issue from morning. So tomorrow I'll try to show you. So see here, first name. We have one more function as well, concat. We can see this and that, first name or last name. These two things we can do concat. Simple. Or else we can use plus icon also. And your sync, the output container is your target. Okay. So here also I can create the same data set, but of course I'll just do publish for now. I'll save it. Tomorrow I'll try to execute. In the meantime, I'll just clear this problem. I have to talk to the call center from Microsoft Azure, Microsoft department. So then I'll try to resolve this issue. Maybe today I'll do, and tomorrow we'll try to see. But in the meantime, I'll show you one thing. I have a pipeline, and whereas in input container you are seeing employees.txt, in the output container we don't have. I'm just refreshing now. Just one-to-one load I will do. One-to-one means without any changes, the source as it is, I want to load it. So pipeline means PL. EMP direct load. So what I want to do, I have activities here. These are called activities. In data flows, we have to get transformations. In activities, in pipelines, we get activities. I need to configure the source information. So the data set which I am taking is your source. And the sync one, we need to put target. But I did not have the target container name. So I'm just using this. And see now, DSTGT employees load. The same linked service I'm using. Here, I'll give the container name. I don't have any file, so it will not list out. Just click on OK. See, if you feel you are feeling anything, some speed or something, no need to worry. These are all very slowly, very in detail. I'll cover in the regular sessions. Okay. For now, I'll just yeah. See now, I have given the sync, which is for output container. This one, I given as source, which is an input container. Now I'll just use this copy data activity. I'm just publishing first of all. Now see, I have debug and a trigger to execute. I have debug and trigger. See, manually, if all the passengers are pushing the bus and going, that is a manual way. Driver, of course, he'll rotate the steering. That is a manual way. Trigger means schedule. So if the trigger is happening automatically and executing, we can say it will work on, see, for example, you have a birthday for your friend. 12 p.m. you don't want to wait, 12 a.m. So what we will do, we can schedule a message to deliver at 12 p.m. And you might not be in without means you don't need to wake up. You can sleep, but the message will go at the same time. That is where the trigger also is saved. Debug means you have to manually type the message and you have to send. So that is debug. So now I just want to debug for now. Before starting the debug, just refresh, see no file is found. And now your copy data one is getting executed with the pipeline name. The pipeline name is what? PL EMP load. Okay, it's executing. So the output we are able to see it is queued. And it is showing in progress. Just refresh. See now, got succeeded. So for this data, data flows require the Spark cluster. Pipelines doesn't require. That is the reason I am able to load the data from the input container to the output container. No changes, no nothing. Directly one-to-one. Directly the source will be placed here as it is. The first name, last name, same. But comma delimiter, it is there. Before it is what? Pipe delimiter. The source is what? Pipe delimiter. Why comma it is coming in the target? Go to the sync. See the data set, open the data set. Within the data set, see what is the common column delimiter, comma. So this is how, and we need to work with the ADF. Very simple. You don't see any challenges generally, but handling the sources, yes, sometimes we'll have the challenges. Those things we'll talk. For example, if your data is coming in a JSON format. For example, I'll open any data flow. So here where, see, your source, I have employees.txt, sort transformation. This all we need to work with these transformations within the data flows. So within Data Factory, again, I'll start creating data flows first. I'll clear all the transformations first. Next, you will go for the pipelines. Clear? So this is just a basic introduction of ADF. How do you work with ADF and how much simple it is? And definitely you'll have challenges. Don't think that it is very simple. Okay. If any IR issues comes, we have to handle. How can we do that? And if pipelines are failing, then we have to handle. Data flows are not executing, like they're having some limitation. Those all things we will talk in detail. in the regular sessions. Okay. So for now, I'll just stop here. And this is just for introduction. And tomorrow onwards, we'll start our regular sessions with data warehousing concepts. Okay. Any questions from online?
Yeah, hi Rajesh, this is Chandra.
Yeah, Chandra.
Rajesh, are we going to cover BI part also, Rajesh?
I mean to say, see here, the people who are coming for Power BI, no, we'll ask them to go with ADF as well. And as well, we'll show the basic. If the people are enrolling for ADF, Power BI only, and then we'll show you ADF. If in ADF who are enrolling and if they want some BI, basic part will show in ADF training itself. If you want separate training, we have Power BI completely. But after loading the data into the warehouse, we'll generate some reports at a basic level. You can understand, you can see a report generation. I'll show you with Power BI.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, any other